Despite the confusion and delay that left many perplexed an evening ago, the Blue Jays managed to survive the opener against Boston to win a one-run game. So let's see if they continue that role this evening. To get it started, we take you to the broadcast booth. That's where we find Dan Shulman and Joe Siddall.
Jamie, thank you. Yeah, the Blue Jays have won 8 out of 12 right now, and they always feel pretty good about their chances, Joe, when Dylan Cease is on the mound.
Because when Dylan Cease takes to the mound, not just tonight, but for the rest of the way, we are watching an American League Cy Young race, and he is going at it toe-to-toe with a young pitcher from the New York Yankees by the name of Cam Schlittler, and Cease has really closed the gap. Pick any stat you want. This is a very close race here as we get into late August. There's another month left. The Blue Jays do play the Yankees a lot down the stretch, so we are going to see Yankees hitters against Schlittler. But I think you look at Cease, he's in his 8th big league season. Schlittler burst on the scene last year. The difference in Dylan Cease now in a Blue Jays uniform with what Pete Walker and what his coaching staff has done with him turned him into a little bit more of an unpredictable guy. The sinker's a big pitch to the righties, the changeup to lefties. It's what he's been able to do against left-handed hitters. That platoon advantage has been huge. That's how you get dominating results.
Now about the offense. The Blue Jays got just enough to win last night, and one of the 2 runs they got came on a home run by Charles McAdoo. And he's leading off in this game, Jamie, here tonight.
That he is. Cease on the mound against the Red Sox. This should be a dandy. Roof is open. Gorgeous night for a ball game. Stay tuned for first pitch here on Sportsnet.
With Roger.
Welcome to Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. A very nice Tuesday night, a Looney Dogs night. The roof is open. It's a big crowd, and the Blue Jays are trying to make it 2 in a row over the Boston Red Sox, and they've got their ace on the mound. As Joe just talked about, it's a 2-man race right now, it looks like, for the Cy Young Award. Dylan Cease is one of those 2 guys. Here's a look at the lineup for the Boston Red Sox, and for the first time, it includes Adley Rutschman. Cedar Rafael, as you can see, is hitting in the 2 spot. He's a hot hitter, a dangerous guy, and there is Rutschman. The former Baltimore Oriole, acquired at the deadline, was on the IL, just activated for this game tonight. This is their big deadline acquisition, a guy they hope is going to help them on to bigger things going forward, and they hope into October as well. Last time that Dylan Cease saw the Red Sox, Joe, it went awfully well for him.
A 30-year-old right-hander continues to just rack up the strikeouts. 7-5 with that ERA down to 2.28. That's the lowest it's been since the middle of April earlier this year. 7 shutout innings against the Cubs. Last time out, he struck out 10 batters, going over 100 pitches again, and he's been virtually unhittable. ERA under 1 over his last 6 starts. When you go back to the beginning of July, he left that Cubs game with a 2-0 lead. Unfortunately, the Cubs came back to win that thing in 11. Velocity was down a little bit early, came back on stronger. Some late lineup changes for the Blue Jays as Okamoto again was scratched from the lineup. Miles Strong was going to be in center. He's now in left. Bateman back in center, and Lucas is inserted into the lineup in right. McAdoo and Jimenez on the left side. Clement and Vladdy on the right side, and Alejandro Kirk's behind the plate for Dylan Cease tonight.
Yeah, McAdoo was going to be in the outfield. Lucas was not going to be in the lineup with a lefty on the mound for the Red Sox, but they had to make a few changes after the move was made a couple of hours before the game. Second day in a row, as Joe said, that Okamoto a late scratch with that left knee contusion. Here's Masataka Yoshida to lead it off for the Red Sox, and he takes one a little bit up. Ball 1. Yoshida, Rafaela, and Rutschman here in the top of the first. Yoshida, a guy who typically has hit the Blue Jays pretty well in his career with the Red Sox. Takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Much more of a contact hitter than a power guy, and can use the whole field. Slow curveball down low, 2 balls and a strike.
2 different breaking balls for Dylan Cease, the slider and the curveball. He's got a very occasional sweeper as well, but we've seen that changeup be a very effective pitch for him against left-handed hitters this year. It held them to a .547 OPS.
Bounced foul, and it's 2-2, and it's very, very early. But again, here with the first couple of fastballs, we see Cease's velocity not at its typical level, but we have often seen it start at 93, 94 and wind up at 98, 99.
He picked it up a bit in the 6th and 7th inning against the Cubs. I think he was smelling the end and went after it.
Tries a changeup, and he misses high. It's a full count. The 3-2. Got him. He strikes out Yoshida to begin the ball game.
Opponents hitting 110 against Dylan Cease's slider. It's virtually an unhittable pitch. This one fell off the table.
Strikeouts are brought to you by Subway. Get 25% off any footlong on game days. Order in the Subway app using code STRIKEOut. One down, and here's the center fielder, Ceddanne Rafaela. A guy who will chase. See? He is almost up there in Ernie Clement territory in terms of how often he swings the bat and how infrequently he walks. Clement's got better bat to ball skills. Rafaela's got a little more power than Ernie does. Grounded towards third. McAdoo's got a nice hop and makes a good play. 2 down. And that'll bring up Adley Rutschman for the first time. What was your reaction when you heard the Orioles were trading Rutschman within the division to the Red Sox?
Caught me off guard. Totally shocked. A name like Rutschman, especially with what the Orioles are trying to do. But then you saw the direction they went at the trade deadline. But the Boston Red Sox are in it to win it. And they went out and got a very good switch hitting catcher.
28 years of age in his 5th major league season. The defense is excellent. The offense has been good this year. His best 2 offensive years were actually his first 2 years in the big leagues. He's been a 3-time All-Star. He's won a Silver Slugger Award. And he's been a problem for the Blue Jays at times over the years. He went around. It's also a called strike, says Nestor Ceja. It's 0-2. Kind of looks funny.
It does.
Right? Got to get used to it a little bit.
You really do, especially as Blue Jays and fans and broadcasters.
Yeah.
For us, we've been seeing him in an Orioles uniform for a long time.
They got him for this year and for next year. He's a free agent at the end of next season. Cease way out in front, 0-2. And does not get the chase on the slider. Cease has allowed a total of 4 earned runs in his last 6 starts. That covers 43 innings. Still ahead 1-2. And again, Rutschman wouldn't bite. 2-2. If you're trying to guess along with Dylan Cease in a 2-strike count, if you're forced to guess along, it would be the slider you're probably thinking about.
It has to be. That's right. And Adley's a tough one because he's not necessarily going to expand too much. Keeps the strikeouts down.
Changeup, and he strikes him out. And you could tell from that swing that was not the pitch that Adley Rutschman was thinking about. A very nice start for Cease. 3 up, 3 down with a couple of Ks.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Some youth at the top of the lineup for the Blue Jays tonight. Charles McAdoo, who's playing in his 10th big league game, is up top. Brett Bateman, who's playing in his 5th big league game, is hitting second. And then down near the bottom, Andres Jimenez, who has been one of the productive hitters recently for the Blue Jays, not only getting his hits, but getting them with men on base. He has been driving in big runs in big moments. They will face a lefty tonight, seeing him for the 2nd time this year in Patrick Sandoval.
Patrick Sandoval is 29 years old. He's in his 7th big league season, 6 of those with the Angels. He missed all of the 2025 season due to elbow surgery, but it didn't stop the Red Sox from signing him to a 2-year, $18.25 million contract in December of 24, knowing that he was going to miss 25. Off to a nice start in 5 starts. That ERA under 3.5. Walks are controllable, striking some people out. He had a good one last time out, allowing 2 runs over 5 innings against the White Sox. The changeup's his excellent pitch. Got a lot of swing and miss with that pitch. He used it more so the 4-seam changeup early on against the White Sox. Mixed in the slider a little more later. So we'll see what his MO is here tonight.
The Blue Jays have not hit lefties well at all. Their numbers against lefties noticeably down from their numbers against righties this year. This one off the end of the bat out to center field, but in to make the play is Rafaela. McAdoo retired on 1 pitch.
Well, defensively for Chad Tracy's Boston Red Sox here at the Rogers Center tonight. Outfield, no surprises. Duran, Rafaela, and Abreu out there left to right. Some bold gloves out there as well. On the infield, Caleb Durbin is going to be at third base. Andrew Monasterio gets the start. He had a day off yesterday. Sogard slides over to second. Wilson Contreras at first, and Adley Rutschman making his Boston Red Sox debut.
And here's Brett Bateman again playing in his 5th major league game. He is 4 for 18 so far. In the original lineup, he was in right field, but after the changes, he has moved back to center field, where he has played the vast majority of his time as a pro ball player, and in the hole 0-2 right now. Getting a real opportunity, getting in there against a lefty, hitting up near the top of the order. And again, lefties coming tomorrow night and again Thursday afternoon for the Red Sox.
Lefties have touched up Sandoval's both 4-seam fastball and sliders, so not a bad matchup for John Schneider to have Bateman up there with his ability to make good contact, get on base, and utilize that speed up top.
Yeah, small sample size this year, but lefties are 12 for 24 with 2 homers against Sandoval. Lays off 2-2. This is just the 6th start for Sandoval this year. Didn't pitch at all last year, coming back from Tommy John surgery. Has knocked on more than 5 innings at any start this year. And a swing and a miss and a ball up and in, 2 down.
Sometimes it's the pitch before that causes this. He threw a sweeper for a ball, but way outside, but you get the hitter's eyes looking out there, and then even though it's not an overpowering fastball, up and in, you do get the chase.
So 2 down, and that'll bring up Guerrero, who went 1 for 4 last night, had a single, an infield hit in the 4th inning. Takes a fastball off the outer edge, ball 1. We have seen glimpses of it. Certainly there were some moments on the road trip where it looked like he was really turning a corner. But then 2-3 games after that, kind of you see it step back into the rut that he has been in most of the season. He's hit the Red Sox well, as we noted last night, but still looking to consistently get that ball in the air, hit it with authority in the air. And again, like the night in Philadelphia, the home run in the first at bat, the line drive single in the second at bat, and everybody hopeful. Hey, let's see what's going on here. But just little bursts here and there.
And I think because he is just so innately talented and skilled that he is going to run into balls by mistake and line him into the gaps and line him into the seats. But you definitely need to see it over more of a duration of time, especially for a hitter of this caliber that's been struggling for so long, so much of the season.
Sandoval back into the count at 2-2. And this ball is hit hard. It's hit to deep center field, but it's caught right in front of the 400-foot marker. Guerrero looking skyward. Loud contact, but the 3rd out.
That's my password for everything, so please don't share that.
Welcome back. Trey Savage has successful surgery on his left meniscus, and according to manager John Schneider, he's week to week and not ruling the rookie right-hander out for the season. Schneider said they really need to wait and see how Savage responds to this type of surgery, because everyone's a little bit different as far as a meniscus issue and, of course, the ACL. Savage will rejoin the team in a couple of days, and then they'll monitor him and see how he's coming coming along in a couple of weeks. As for Jameson Taillon, he's been placed on the IL with forearm tendonitis. He'll be down from throwing for 3 to 5 days. The team is being careful with Taillon, who's had multiple surgeries over his career. Now, Dan, if there is some good news here, it's that there is no structural damage to worry about in that right forearm. Guys?
Hazel, thank you. So, as has been the case so often this year, John Schneider's daily availability with the media begins with the injury update. And again, a shame for you, Savage. We talked about that and knew that. Everybody did as soon as he had to walk off the mound in Houston. Week to week, as Hazel said, not ruling out the possibility of him returning later this season. As Cease is out in front of Wilson Contreras 0-2. No timeline for Jameson Taillon, hoping they kind of got out in front of it a little bit. And then Spencer Arrighetti is expected to be off a mound in a couple of days. Taillon and Arrighetti there side by side in the dugout. What the timeline is for Arrighetti, I guess, depends on how he feels when he starts throwing again. And I think there will be a rehab outing before they bring him back to the big leagues. But if all goes well, maybe he can slide into Taillon's rotation spot. This is hit in the air to left field, down the line. Over comes Straw, and he's got room in foul territory to make the catch. They've also got Simeon Woods-Richardson. They've got some length in Buffalo, but it just feels like week after week after week, Joe, it's like a puzzle they can't completely finish off because things are always changing due to injuries.
And it's tough to do that puzzle when you are where you are in the standings. Here they are in the middle of August, and they're fighting. Every single game matters so much now because their backs are against the wall, and it's tough to do that when you're depleted, but the hits just seem to keep on coming.
Wilyer Abreu, the batter, the right fielder for the Red Sox, hitting .253, 20 home runs. So they know they've got Jose Soriano tomorrow night, Max Scherzer Thursday. It should be Shane Bieber in the first game of the series against the Yankees Friday. And then Saturday would be the TBD right now. They'll figure it out closer to then. The 2-0 to Abreu. And it's low ball 3. Let's take a look back after Contreras hit this fly ball. And that is not good. You're managing a team. You hate seeing a guy reach down for that hamstring. So we will keep an eye on Contreras and see if he comes out to play defense as Cease walks Abreu on 4 pitches.
He was one of the guys that was ill this past week, and you just wonder sometimes if an illness can have anything to do with a little dehydration, maybe tweak that hamstring. But Chad Tracy has his hands full as well.
First base runner of the ball game. Abreu's at first on the walk. Contreras by himself right now, just kind of checking out that last at bat. We'll keep an eye on him. Here's Caleb Durbin, the third baseman. Durbin 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts last night. A guy who has been hot lately. The Red Sox, as you probably know, had won 27 out of 30 before losing the last 2 over the weekend to the A's and then the first game of this series last night. So they're now in a 3-game losing streak. Runner goes. And there is no throw from Kirk. Abreu with his 8th stolen base of the season.
I've seen a lot of this with Dylan Cease on the mound. It has not been a good season at all in terms of controlling the running game. They have thrown out a handful of attempted base stealers, but a lot of guys running at will.
A look back and the 1-1. Swing and a miss right through a fastball at 96. It's 1-2. And Durbin using his timeout. Picked him up in an offseason deal with Milwaukee. Very slow start, much better the last couple of months, and he looks like he's bothered by something right now.
He takes a big swing, gets loaded up in that backside, and really unleashes it all at once. And swing a hot bat.
Cease out in front of him, 1-2. That is line just foul down the left field line, as Cease threw him a slider that did not get far enough away from him where Cease really wanted it.
Dylan Cease's slider, it's such a great pitch because of the action on the pitch, but he's located it so well down and away to right-handed batters. That's where Kirk wants it, but look where it ends up. You leave it more middle, in the way it backed up that way. That's good hitting, and Durbin just missed tucking it inside that line. Good time to throw another one and make sure you finish it.
Fastball upstairs, 2-2. The velocity has crept up, as it so often does here in the second inning, up to 96, 97 now. A stare down with Abreu, and the 2-2 pitch. Fastball to get him. 2 down.
Maybe Durbin's got that slider on his mind, but Dylan just reared back, and this is what he can do. 2 electric weapons in the four-seam fastball and the slider, and that time he chose the heater.
Already his 3rd strikeout of the night. He is the American League leader in strikeouts, and he's 2nd in the majors, behind only Jacob Misiorowski of Milwaukee. Here's Jarren Duran. Duran just over the 200 mark. He's at 201 on the season, 16 homers. Still a dangerous guy who does have power, does have speed, but his numbers a far cry from where they were a couple of years ago. Up and away, 2-0.
And it was Duran last night that led off that 9th inning with the double off Louis Varland on a curveball down in the zone, but they were able to keep him from scoring. Does not normally handle the breaking balls real well, but he was on that one.
3-0. One of the reasons why Cease has been able to get so deep into games and to put up start after start after start so impressive is that he has minimized the walks, been more efficient, and as a result has been able to get deeper into the games. A strike, 3-1. In this great 6-start stretch that he is on, he has averaged 2 walks per start. Swing and a miss, 3-2.
If you throw it 3-0 and then you throw it 3-1, what do you think you're getting 3-2?
But as you say, at any time, at any count, he's got 2++ weapons with the fastball too, right?
Broke out the changeup against Adley Rutschman to end the first. This is why he's been so tough on lefties as well.
Grounded down to first. Guerrero's got it, makes the play himself, and that's that. To the bottom of the second, no score.
Bet365.
Here in downtown Toronto, a nice night, the roof open, and we've got the drone cam with us again tonight. This bird's eye view is provided by WestJet, the official airline of the Toronto Blue Jays.
How about this slowly approaching
It's cool.
in front of the sunset?
You and I are always big fans of this.
Love it. It's a little surreal looking, isn't it?
Yeah. Great shot and another great crowd. Big crowds all season, and that will, from what we understand, continue all week. The Red Sox here for 4, then the Yankees for 3. No score, bottom 2. Here's George Springer. On the appeal, he went around, and it's 0-1. Springer last night went 1 for 4, but it was a notable 1. He singled in the 6th, stole a base, and then scored on a very close play. The ball actually dropped, but it was a very close play at the plate, and the base hit by Andres Jimenez. And every run so precious in a 2-1 victory. Here he's popped it up for Contreras, who is indeed back out on the field to begin the bottom of the second. So whatever's going on in that hamstring must be manageable.
And there is that changeup from Patrick Sandoval that we will see more and more of. Very good pitch. He gets ahead with the fastball. Comes back with that good secondary pitch at the bottom of the zone. What a signing Contreras has been for the Boston Red Sox, or a trade, but that they got him from the Cardinals. And a huge offensive weapon, especially in Fenway Park.
Alejandro Kurt kind of quietly has been swinging the bat very well. He's hitting .346 in his last 52 at bats, 18 for 52. Up to .253 on the season. Again, a season interrupted for 2.5 months by a broken thumb. Took him a while to get his timing back when he came back. But starting to look more and more like himself. Maybe not with quite as much power as we saw last year, but in terms of the contact, the line drives, the base hits, that's coming.
When you're missing that much time, and especially with a thumb injury, a broken thumb on your left hand, for him, his bottom hand on the bat, I'm sure that had a lot to do with him coming back slowly and needing a good month to really get that timing back down.
Outside, 3-1.
Seeing that ball much better.
Yeah.
And when he starts hitting both the fastball and the breaking balls, that's usually a very good indication, because he's not getting too big and out there up front.
And he'll take a walk as the Blue Jays have their first base runner of the night. It's a big hug, a bear hug from Wilson Contreras down at first. And here comes Ernie Clement. Clement did not start last night's game. Came on defensively, got one at bat late. Sends it foul right side. Clement at .284 on the season.
Lots of tools of the trade laying down in the on-deck circles around Major League Baseball. You see more different bats they warm up with, and weights and sticky stuff to get a grip on the baseball bat.
Grounded to third, Durbin to second one, and on to first in time to turn it and end the inning. That's a 5-4-3 double play, and at the end of 2, there's no score in this one.
More of a strike throwing ability. They knew his delivery was in a good place, and it was really just a matter of fine-tuning his approach. It's certainly worked so far. Just massive year-over-year improvement here in all the big categories. Of course, Walker also pointed to implementing that changeup. They could have left Cease with his fastball slider and he'd be successful, but the changeup has changed his game. They know it's in the arsenal, he told me, and hitters have to worry about that now. Walker said they've helped Cease learn how to disrupt timing and keep hitters off balance, Dan, as Adley Rutschman found out back in the first inning. Guys?
Hazel, thank you. Last year, Dylan Cease threw his changeup barely 1% of the time. This year, it's 11.5% of the time.
Everything that Hazel just said, it's all encompassing of what he is now in a Blue Jays uniform. It's a different pitcher, and the two biggest pitches for me are that changeup that he uses mostly to left-handed hitters, and it's the sinker that he's used a lot more now to right-handed hitters. If you're thinking about 96 and 7 running in on you, just imagine what that does for the four-seamer at the top or the slider down and away. And with Adley's swing on strike 3, that just speaks volumes what that changeup does. It doesn't have to be a great pitch itself, but with the other pitches, he's got a little something going on here, and just to handle both righties and lefties. That's how you dominate the game.
He's allowed 1 walk. He struck out 3 through 2 innings. This is Andrew Monasterio, the shortstop. It looks like it's a 2-horse race, as we said, for the Cy Young Award. And a month ago, Cam Schlittler is unquestionably out in front. Dylan Cease is one of 2 or 3 guys giving chase, but Cease has narrowed the gap and really made it, if you look at the numbers, and we showed them off the top of the show, kind of a pick'em right now with 6 weeks to go. The Yankees are here later this week. The Blue Jays are in the Bronx next week. Don't know yet if they will line up against one another in any of the games. That would sure be fun.
Yep.
fun for the hitters, but
if you're a fan of pitching.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and each pitcher's club could help them out by swinging the bats against those opposing pitchers, but not easy. Easier said than done. It doesn't matter which side of the batter's box you're in this season against Dylan Cease. It's not fun.
3-2. Cease, by the way, has finished second once and fourth once in Cy Young balloting. The second was in 2022 with the White Sox. Fourth place was in 2024 with the Padres.
And we think he should have had one.
Yes.
So close.
So good. A ball just inside and a leadoff walk for Monasterio. Surprised that Kirk didn't challenge?
A little bit. You know, we said this before. It's early in the game. It's the third inning. It's the bottom of the order. Yes, it's a really big pitch, but we've also been critical of some of the holes they've dug themselves early in ball games this year too, so maybe a little reluctant.
Now Sogard lines the ball sharply into right for a base hit. That's the first hit of the ball game for either side, and the 8-9 hitters have something going here for the Red Sox.
Well, this is the four-seam fastball from Cease. Again, the velo back down around 95, but it's pretty center cut. And if you're going up against Dylan Cease, if I'm a bottom of the order hitter, or wherever I am actually, I'm looking for a first pitch fastball too, and if you get it, get ready to hit it.
Top of the order, Masataka Yoshida, who struck out to begin the ball game. Look back, and now the 1-0. Kirk asked for the appeal, but he didn't go, and it's 2-0. And a strike right at the bottom of the zone, a much needed strike to make it 2-1.
You know, these Red Sox will run wild, and they're going to have to help Dylan Cease any way they can. Jimenez does a great job really trying to check in around that second base bag.
Ground ball to Guerrero. Jimenez one back to Cease, not in time. Yoshida safely across. It's a fielder's choice. First and third, one out.
Just slow developing, not hit real hard, but Vladdy does the right thing. Make sure you get the one out. You're probably not turning this anyway with Yoshida running. Tough play for the pitcher getting over there to cover, and he just beats it out.
So they're on the corners with one out for Ceddanne Rafaela. Pretty tough guy to double up. He runs well. McAdoo a couple of steps behind the bag at third. And Cease out in front of him, 0-1. In the air, right center field. Setting up is Bateman. Here comes Monasterio. The throw is cut. The run will score, and it's 1-0 Red Sox. Sacrifice fly for Rafaela.
Pretty good pitch. He got that slider down in the zone to Rafaela. I didn't think he hit it as well as he did. It went a little deeper than I thought, and easily scoring from third is Monasterio. You try to get that, make it your real good slider. Maybe gets it toward the end of the bat, but not quite so much.
So the other runner, Yoshida, still at first. Two down. Here's Rutschman, who struck out in the first. Rutschman was on the IL with wrist inflammation. Began a rehab assignment just on Saturday. Caught 5 innings on Saturday. Was the DH on Sunday. Was here going through some workouts yesterday and now on the active roster. Now, he wasn't on the IL all that long, but that's a really short rehab assignment, like a game and a half.
Yeah, it's not a lot, and that's why Chad Tracy said that when he comes back now, it's probably going to be maybe 2 on, 1 off. They're going to have to really monitor that workload early on here. Make a lot of sense if he catches tonight and tomorrow maybe and gets the day game off perhaps. We'll see how he handles it.
The Red Sox DFA'd catcher Jake Rogers to make room on the roster for Rutschman. Down the right field line, hooking towards the corner, and it is just foul. Very close, just a few feet foul.
As soon as the ball leaves his bat, it makes you nervous because of the success he has against the Blue Jays in here at Rogers Center. But out front of the slider just enough that it hooked to the right of the screen.
Two and one the count. Inside with a fastball, ball 3. Cease's command not in the same place tonight it has been recently. 51 pitches, 27 strikes, 24 balls. A couple of walks already tonight. Pop back foul out of play, 3-2.
Jake Rogers been around a long time as a catcher, backup catcher at times, and very intriguing where he might go. But when you think about options, what's the first team that comes to mind for you, Dan?
To pick up Jake Rogers.
He was Tarek Skubal's personal catcher.
You think he's going to wind up out in L.A.? That's not a bad guess.
You wonder, right?
Yeah.
Could be very intriguing. They've had some catching issues in L.A.
Yoshida's going to be on the move. And it's hit foul up the line. Some of the conversation between Rogers and Connor Wong was, well, Connor Wong's been with them all year. He knows the pitching staff. And, you know, to be and Rogers just got to Boston at the deadline. To come into the middle of the season and have to learn 13 new guys, it's a lot. You obviously, for a guy like Rutschman, you don't even think about it. But
and Sonny Gray is pretty well throws to Wong most of the time. So that secures your job a little bit if you're Wong.
Runner goes again, 3-2, and it's tapped up the middle. Clements got it. The throw to first, not in time. Rutschman with just enough speed to beat it out.
Adley saying not so fast for this catcher, getting down the line pretty well. It was hit to Clements right. You see where he is playing way over in the hole. So he has a long way to go to his right. Can't probably get as much as he wanted to on that throw. Good job by Rutschman legging it out.
And Cease frustrated. Just a ground ball hit in the right spot if you're Rutschman, in the wrong spot if you're Cease. Nothing more Clement could do. And Kirk, sensing this is a bit of a long inning here, is going to give his pitcher a little bit of time to regroup with the always dangerous Wilson Contreras now up with a couple of men on. This is one of those, you know, it's early and it's 1-0, but big spots. 2 on, 2 out, and a big time power hitter at the plate.
Yeah, keeping it 1-0 is crucial, especially with this Blue Jays lineup not necessarily scoring 5 and 6 a night.
Contreras 0 for 1. Fouls off a fastball. 0-1.
We've seen Cease throw his sinker into righties. I was saying what an effective pitch that has been this year. That was the 4-seamer, so it's more of a straight, more true spin in there. May have missed his spot, but it didn't get the action that the sinker will give him.
Popped him up. Clement out into shallow right field. He'll make the catch, and Cease gets out of it, allowing just the 1 run here in the top of the 3rd. Quite a few days for Andres Jimenez. This is Saturday in Philadelphia. A 2-run double into the gap in right center. That's in the 8th inning. That ties the game. The Blue Jays would go on to win it. On Sunday, he He's up in a big spot late again. Eighth inning. This time a 2-run single. This ties the game, although the Blue Jays were not able to win this one in extra innings. And then last night in a very tight game, an RBI single to cash in George Springer from second, and that run proved to be the difference in a 2-1 Blue Jays victory.
Is clutch real? Well, Andres Gimenez is making it look like it's a thing, and I do think some hitters can really slow things down in the batter's box in certain situations. His overall numbers don't necessarily display that, but I think sometimes you just can really dig in there and be a tough out, and he has been doing that with consistency for a while.
He'll lead it off here in the bottom of the third. To give you an idea of some of the different situations for Gimenez this year, scoring position, a very solid 272. Scoring position with 2 outs, 318. Runners at second and third. So second and third, like a base hit's going to drive in 2 in all likelihood. 6 for 14, 429. He is coming up with some of his best at bats in big spots for the Blue Jays this year. And right now, John Schneider, David Popkins, they're not picky about where the offense comes from.
No.
The more the merrier.
That's right. And most managers love the long ball.
Fly ball tagged pretty well deep center, but on the warning track, Rafaela is there.
Stream every pitch on Canada's best and most reliable 5G Plus network. Visit Rogers.com today to get connected.
Bottom 3 here with the Rogers Center. Dan Schulman, Joe Siddall, and Hazel May. Glad you're with us on this Tuesday night. 1-0 Red Sox. With 1 out here in the bottom of the third, Miles Straw, the left fielder, gets his first look at Patrick Sandoval. Bouncer to short, backhanded by Monasterio, and the big stretch by Contreras at the other end for out number 2.
See again how that changeup is so effective. He gets ahead of you, then he gets you to expand a little bit off the plate. Hitters are up front, rolls it over. It's been a huge pitch for Sandoval.
And the Blue Jays still looking for their first hit of the night. Here is Nathan Lucas, who was added into the lineup when Kazuma Okamoto was scratched. They moved people around. McAdoo came into the infield. Lucas is out in his familiar right field. In there for a strike, 0-1. Pulls it to the right side, and it's through for a base hit.
Well, Charles McAdoo was added to the lineup late last night and hit the home run. Lucas added to the lineup late tonight. He gets a base hit in a lefty-lefty scenario here early. Stays on that sweeper very well and hooks it hard enough to get it past Nick Sogard, who is crowding the middle on him.
So that'll bring out McAdoo for the second time. McAdoo swung at the first pitch that he saw in the first inning and lined out to center. Hit the home run last night. International League Player of the Week last week, earning him a call-up. Takes it low, ball 2.
Slide step changeup right there. So he quickens up the delivery, but comes with a changeup. You quicken up that delivery, hitters might get a little antsy, be up front of the changeup.
So you think did the slide step have more to do with the pitch selection or the runner?
I think the pitch selection.
Pitch selection.
You're guarding against the runner, but it's tricky as a hitter.
And right now McAdoo is seeing that changeup.
Yeah.
Not offering at it at all.
It's a very interesting matchup because you think you're going to see changeups from Sandoval if you're McAdoo. You get the veteran on the mound against the young hitter that's probably anxious. But Sandoval also saw what McAdoo did last night with a cutter away from Sonny Gray. Took him oppo.
I think you were onto something there. What McAdoo did. I think you should trademark that.
Say that 5 times real fast. I'd be glad to if he did it again.
3-0 count. And it's ball 4. Boy, it looked like Rutschman was expecting to hear a strike call from Nestor Ceja. Didn't get it. No challenge, and the Blue Jays have 2 men on.
I think Sandoval wanted to challenge, and I think Rutschman was thinking of challenging, and they just decided not to, and they may have gotten it. This is where Sandoval has had these little pockets, and Chad Tracy talked about this today, that where it just gets away from him a little bit. So a base hit, now a walk. This is where hopefully Brett Bateman can jump on and make him pay.
Bateman struck out on a fastball a little bit up and in the bottom of the first. Lines this ball left center field, and it's down for a base hit. Lucas in to score. McAdoo's going to be held at third. It's an RBI double for Brett Bateman.
Make him pay. He did. We said earlier in this ball game that Patrick Sandoval has had trouble against left-handed hitters early on in his season. Both the four-seam fastball and the slider have been hit, and this slider's right in the middle of the plate. Bateman drills it into the gap, and the Gold Glover Rafael, even he can't get there.
The second big league extra base hit and the second big league RBI for 24-year-old Brett Bateman. He has tied the game at 1. Andrew Bailey, the pitching coach for the Red Sox, on the mound. And now Sandoval, after a bit of a breather, is going to face Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who lined out right to the wall in straightaway center field his first time up. And a strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
The only thing working in the Blue Jays' favor on that ball off the bat of Bateman is that it was slicing away from Rafael. I still thought he was getting there.
Yeah. He's one of the best out there. Again, the change, this one far off the corner. Bateman's speed out at second. A base hit is very likely 2 runs here. If Guerrero can just find a hole, line one through the infield. Fouls it back, and it's 1-2. A walk to McAdoo, the double by Bateman. The Kids are in on it tonight. Lucas scoring the run. And then McAdoo and Bateman 1-2 in the lineup, both a part of this. Two and 2. Boy, he wants to get him to chase that changeup.
Yeah. He's doing a good job laying off, and just have to continue to be that disciplined, but you're also trying to cover that slider down and in like we just saw 2 pitches ago.
So it's 2 and 2. He held up. 3 and 2. About 5 pitches in the at-bat, 4 of them changeups. You can see Vladdy's kind of going through things here, thinking about what he might be getting on this pitch. Here it comes. And it's at the knees for strike 3 call. A fastball getting in there just above the bottom of the zone, froze him and got him. 1 run in, tied at 1 at the end of 3. Get ready for Hello Kitty Day at the ballpark. On September the 12th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays Hello Kitty bobblehead. There will be activities, artists, photo ops, and plenty of fun for all ages. Get your tickets now at bluejays.com/promotions. Tied at 1, top 4. And a strike from Dylan Cease to Wilyer Abreu, who walked and stole the base in the second, didn't get past second. 1 run, 2 hits for each team so far.
That's the changeup. He's trying to keep it in the zone. 1-1 changeup. You try to get yourself a quick little out, maybe get him out front on a ground ball.
When in doubt, slide.
Always got that in the holster, doesn't he?
Like Spencer Miles refers to his sinker as his get out of jail free card. If Dylan Cease were to speak in those terms about one of his pitches, I would imagine it would be the slider.
Gets so much swing and miss. Slider and a changeup.
Fly ball, though, high and deep to right field, and it's gone. A slider hit into the Red Sox bullpen. Abreu with his 21st home run on the season to put the visitors back on top.
What a beautiful swing by the Red Sox right fielder. It was the slider. It's down in the middle of the plate. It's in the strike zone, but it's right into that lefty rake zone. And he just got it up and over the head of Lucas and into the Red Sox bullpen.
That's the first home run given up by Cease since his outing 4 starts ago against Tampa Bay back on July the 20th. And in his last 10 starts, including tonight, he's only allowed 3 home runs.
That is something what Wilyer Abreu just did to one of the better pitches in baseball. Dylan Cease's slider has been pretty untouchable.
Durbin swings through a fastball, 1-2. That's how Cease got him when he struck him out in the second. And he got him again with a fastball. Strikeout number 4 on the night.
No fooling around there. Looked like he knew exactly what he wanted to do. And he just reared back once again, blew it by him. That's twice now against Durbin, overpowering him.
One down. Here's Jarren Duran. Duran grounded out in his first at bat. For Cease, by the way, the 4 strikeouts tonight, Joe, it gives him 188 on the season. In each of the last 5 years, he's had more than 200 strikeouts in a season. His career high is 227, set with the White Sox back in 2022. If they stay on turn, Cease will have 8 more starts after this one. If he has 8 more starts after this one, he is going to blow past 227 and set a new career high.
He is a strikeout pitcher, but he has taken it to another level this season.
Verlander 2-2. The Blue Jay record, by the way, for strikeouts is held by Roger Clemens. He's got the top 2 spots. 292 in 97, 271 in 98. Ooh, a challenge here from Kirk. That was a changeup on the
catcher is challenging the ball call.
Did it get to the inside corner? It did not.
The pitch is the ball. The count is 3-2. Toronto has 1 challenge remaining.
Blue Jays down to 1. This closer look brought to you by Specsavers.
Kirk may be thinking it came back just a bit. Not enough.
So Clemens, the top 2 spots easily. Robbie Ray, 248 in his Cy Young year in 2021. And then Kevin Gausman, 4th at 237 back in 2023. Cease with a chance to get by Gausman and maybe Ray if he has a strong
Think
finish.
of Gausman, kind of a 2-pitch pitcher. Robbie Ray was kind of fastball slider too.
Ground ball to second. Short throw from Clemente Guerrero, 2 down.
When you're striking a lot of people out with primarily 2 pitches, that is nasty stuff. Dylan Cease does it as well. We've talked about his 6 different pitches, but it's still the bread and butter is still the foundation is still that 4-seam fastball with slider.
The batter now is Andrew Monasterio, who walked to begin the top of the 3rd and eventually came in to score. And I would think when you're a guy like Cease or anybody at or near his caliber, a leadoff walk to a guy at or near the bottom of the order has got to be about the most frustrating thing.
Especially for a guy like Cease, because walks are an issue for him. Despite all of the other great stuff, that's the one thing that kind of comes back to haunt him. And sure enough, the leadoff walk scored that first run for the Red Sox tonight.
It's softly to shallow left, and it drops in for a 2-out base hit.
I don't know if it's possible to find the statistics, but a leadoff walk as opposed to a leadoff single. Like the singles just don't score as much, do they?
It does feel like the leadoff walks are more damaging.
Craziest thing in baseball. Could be a little bias there, but.
Here's Nick Sogard, line to base hit to right in his first at bat. There goes the runner. Kirk's throw on the way down, the tag, and he's safe. Chris Guccione getting right around Jimenez to see what was going on the outside of the bag, but Monasterio is called safe. John Schneider looking back. The Blue Jays will not challenge.
Good slide again. We saw George Springer do this last night, really sliding headfirst to the back of the bag, and that's what gets Monasterio's hand in there, just too far for Jimenez to reach.
Second stolen base of the night for the Red Sox. And you can see the pitch count for Cease higher than where he would like it to be, about to throw number 80 here in the 4th inning.
Didn't he tell John Schneider he's good for about 130 tonight?
He did. Well, Schneider, I mean, that's what Schneider relayed to us. He said he walked out of the ballpark last night with Cease, and the bullpen has been so heavily taxed. And Schneider, perhaps a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but maybe not, said to Cease, "What do you got in you tomorrow?" And Cease said 130. But as much as he has been so strong and durable, like, you don't want to wear him down too much either, right? They don't have any off days in this stretch. He had that one very good changeup, got a swing and a miss from Adley Rutschman, but otherwise it's kind of been missing up and away and not getting a lot of swing and miss.
I like the idea they're going back to backs. The first one wasn't good, so try to correct it, but he was not able to self-correct.
Play left side, a full count on Sogard. Monasterio, who's got pretty good speed, out at second, 2 down here in the top of the 4th. And the 3-2 fouled off. And Pete Walker's making a phone call a little bit earlier tonight than he would have liked. Brian Johnson, a bullpen coach, taking the call on the other end. Blue Jays did make a roster move today. Jamison Tyone going on the IL with the forearm issue. Chase Lee is back from Buffalo. Three-two again, and it's ball 4. The third walk he's given up tonight, and the 8 and 9 hitters have proven to be difficult for Cease tonight. 2 hits, 2 walks.
Yeah, Jamison Tyone went 4 innings last night before being removed, as we see Chase Lee warming in the Blue Jays bullpen. And as they got through that game, you're looking ahead with what Simeon Woods Richardson did, but you feel pretty good with Cease tonight, Soriano tomorrow night. But Soriano didn't get out of the 5th in his first game either as a Blue Jay, so you were hoping for more from Dylan tonight, but it's not going very well.
Again, trying to minimize the damage. Got out of a 2-on-2 out situation by getting Contreras in the 3rd. He will try to do the same here against Yoshida in the 4th.
Good time for a visit as well. Just slow things down, let him catch his breath, really discuss this hitter, do everything you have to do to prepare to get this hitter right here and keep this a 1-run game. He's retired Yoshida twice.
Ball 1. And a swing and a miss through a high fastball. It's even at 1-1.
If there's a spot to get Yoshida, it might be upstairs, so he's staying hard with the fastball at the top, at least to start the at-bat.
Fastball again, fouled off, 1-2.
Didn't get that one up there, and I think the reaction from Yoshida says it all. He knows he got a fastball to handle there and just couldn't get to it. After all those fastballs, maybe now he goes to that slider like the one he got him on in the 1st.
Changeup, and he strikes him out. Number 5 on the night. The Abreu homer, though, has put the Red Sox back on top.
Sportsnet 1.
So Detroit has a lead.
Welcome back. Adley Rutschman was one of the bigger names dealt at this year's deadline, and Chad Tracy reached out to several different people around the game who knew Rutschman, and the feedback, he said, was generally the same. They praised his leadership and the way he dealt with the pitching staff. Now, they've had some initial conversations with Tracy describing Rutschman as engaged and, quote, an awesome guy. Tracy said working with the starters pregame and postgame will be telling, but he does fully expect an easing in period for the former Baltimore Oriole. Now, Tracy has to be pretty pleased, Dan, with what he has seen from Rutschman behind the plate and in the batter's box, with Rutschman picking up his first hit in a Boston uniform in his debut. Guys?
Hazel, thank you. No question, this is a major pickup. All Blue Jay fans have seen a lot of Rutschman over the years with Baltimore, and this is a guy who lengthens the lineup and gives them a legit #1 catcher, both offensively and defensively. And as we talked about last night, they gave up a lot to get him. 3 of their top 5 prospects, and that tells you how Craig Breslow and the front office are in on this team's chances going into October.
1 year away from free agency after the 27 season, so you'll gotta wonder if they're going to try to lock him up before that. But as we know, a lot of hitters, a lot of players at that points in their career, they will wait till free agency and test the waters. Be interesting to see what Boston can do with Adley.
Sandoval out in front, 0-2 on Springer, and he went around. He strikes him out on 3 pitches.
Well, in his last start, Sandoval used the 4-seam fastball changeup a lot early and went to the slider a little bit more later, and this is a good one here, and leaving George very indecisive. Defensive swing with 2 strikes.
1 down. Here's Alejandro Kirk. He walked in the 2nd. It to left, and it'll drop in front of Duran for a base hit.
It's exactly what I was referring to earlier with Alejandro Kirk having a tough time coming off that injured list. Certainly needed some time to get that thumb going and get his timing back. But when he starts hitting both the fastball and the breakers, that's a very good sign. He stays on that ball very well, gets it toward the end a little bit, but he stays through the baseball a long time. That's how you handle more pitches.
1 on, 1 out. Ernie Clement grounded into a double play in his first at bat, and he might have done it again. Ernie 0 for 2, 2 double play balls, both of them 5-4-3, inning over.
Computers always for tape.
Well, behind the plate, in the dugout, and of course on the mic, Buck Martinez has been a part of Blue Jays baseball for decades. And on August 29th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Buck Martinez legacy bobblehead on the day he is inducted into the newly named Hall of Excellence. Get your tickets now at bluejays.com/promotions.
Behind the plate, in the dugout, and in the broadcast booth.
Yeah.
Is that any good?
And even on the bobblehead, his hair looks great.
That part had to be done right.
Yeah.
Look at that beautiful sky.
Yeah,
this
nice
evening
sunset.
in Toronto.
Rafaela gives one a ride to deep center. Bateman jumps, and it's gone. Ceddanne Rafaela drives one out of the ballpark to straightaway center field. It is 3-1 Red Sox.
Ceddanne Rafaela has done a lot of damage on breaking pitches and off-speed pitches, and Dylan Cease just tried to flip in a first pitch sweeper, and look where it lands. Rolls right into the middle of the zone, and that's a very dangerous bat with some pop in it. Ball just kept going.
Now Rutschman, who was 1 for 2, had an infield hit his last time up. Chase Lee was up in the bullpen during the top of the 4th. Cease got out of that. Nobody throwing now as the 5th begins. 90th pitch of the night for Cease. Catches the corner, and it's 1-1. Pete Walker's on the phone again. Let's see, Kirk thought about a challenge, but I would imagine remembers that they only had one. Obviously, they lost one earlier. He did not want to risk it there. Here's Chase Lee for the second time. And that's ball 4. Walk number 4 on the night, surrendered by Cease. It's the first time since late June he has walked 4 in a game. And he may be running out of time here in this ball game. Here's Contreras, 0 for 2. Big swing and a miss.
Such a big difference between that slider right there and the sweeper that he threw to Rafaela to start his at bat. You can see why that slider is such an effective pitch. Tried to get away with that sweeper, but Rafaela didn't let him.
That's a foul ball, and it's 0-2. Fastball swung on and missed, 1 down.
Well, there's a good fastball at 97 from Dylan Cease. It's been down a bit again tonight, but he really reared back there, and you just wonder again if he's kind of smelling the end here, and you try to rear back a little bit and give it a little more.
And I'm sure John Schneider would love to get him through 5. They're trying to minimize the workload on the bullpen. It's been so heavily used with all the extra inning games and no off days. At the knees, 0-1 to Wilyer Abreu, who homered his last time up. They really play him to pull on the infield. McAdoo way off the line at third. Jimenez up the middle. Swung on and missed, 1-2.
That's one of the better changeups we've seen tonight. That's the one you want by design. It's good
more
arm
of a diver
speed
than a floater.
Yeah, and down in the zone.
Yeah.
Down in the zone, away from more of that damage. Catch that left-handed here out front and pulling off. Really sold it with the arm speed, though.
Here comes pitch number 100. Got him. Back-to-back strikeouts, 2 down.
Dylan is a real student of the game, and in conversations I've had with him, he talks so much about his mechanics and his bottom half and his direction to home with power. There's so many things going on. When you get all that right and in sync with his stuff, that's the Dylan Cease we've been seeing. But I'm sure it's going to get more and more difficult as the months go by here, get later in the season. He's reaching back right now to try to finish strong here.
Caleb Durbin, the batter, he has struck out twice, and in both of the at-bats, Cease has overpowered him with fastballs. He starts it with a curveball here to get out in front. Elevated fastball fouled back, 0-2. These are the tough ones, right? You know, you're not at your best. It's not going the way you want it to go. But your job is to get as many outs as you can and just try to keep your team close.
Yeah, most starting pitchers will tell you that the most important thing is the volume, the innings pitched, because they know how much that helps their entire team, especially that bullpen.
0-2 again. And hit weakly to first. Guerrero's going to make the play himself. And Cease does get through 5 here tonight. Now 3-1 for the Red Sox as we check in with Jamie Campbell for an update.
All right, Dan, here's the in-game tracker brought to you by Bet365. The Mariners have lost 4 in a row. They're in New York. Look at this. Ryan McMahon with a belt to right field. However, Taylor Ward goes up and pulls it back. So that's why there's zeros on the board at Yankee Stadium, bottom of 4 in Minnesota. The Orioles have hit 3 home runs. This a 2-run shot from Gunnar Henderson, his 19th. 5-1 Baltimore right now at Target Field, top of the 3rd. And the Tigers have won 7 and 9 on their West Coast trip. They come home and so far are beating Cleveland. McGonigal with a double here that scores 2, Detroit 4, Cleveland 2. Top of the 7th there. That's the in-game tracker presented by Bet365. Available in Alberta and here to stay. Download the app. Must be 18 years of age to play. And please play responsibly.
Savings. Get 40% off versus single game tickets with a season ticket membership. That means more value, more memorable moments, and a seat that's always waiting for you. Visit BlueJays.com/season tickets for more details. Moments ago, Dylan Cease, after finishing off the Red Sox in the top of the 5th. Little fist pump from Pete Walker. And then John Schneider with the handshake and the pat on the back. Looks like Cease is done. 5 innings, 3 runs, 104 pitches, 63 strikes. Here's Andres Jimenez trying to bunt his way aboard. Brings it with him, but foul. You can see a little head shake there, and we see this when your highs are as high as Dylan Cease can get to. You know, and a lot of guys have a lot worse than 3 runs in 5 innings, but this obviously falls into the frustrating bucket for him tonight.
We know because we watch every one of his starts, so you know that he knows what he can be each and every time out there. We talk about it every time he takes the mound because of what he can be. So when he doesn't quite have that perfect, I'm sure it's frustrating.
This might work out. It does. A base hit for Jimenez.
A lot of breaking pitches left on left from Sandoval here tonight, but that one was a sinker running in on Jimenez, and he just gets enough of it to drop it into shallow center field.
See if the bottom of the order can get something going here. Jimenez, the number 7 hitter. Here comes Miles Straw, who grounded out on a changeup, grounded out to short his first time up. Sandoval has already gotten 2 ground ball double plays here tonight, both of them hit into by Ernie Clement. Durbin is somewhat back at 3rd, not fearing maybe a bunt try for a base hit by Straw, who hits a ground ball to 3rd off the glove of Durbin, and everybody is safe. Boy, they would have gotten 1. Don't know if they would have gotten 2, but they don't get anybody.
Big break for the Blue Jays because Straw chased a changeup again from Sandoval off the plate away. What do? You're out front, you roll it over. This is a double play ball right off the thumb of a very sure fielding 3rd baseman in Durbin.
So that'll go as a fielder's choice, E5, and it's 1st and 2nd, nobody out. The batter is Nathan Lucas, who had a base hit his first time up and eventually came around to score the Blue Jays' only run of the night. Durbin now creeps in at 3rd. Same for Contreras at 1st. Lucas squares, pulls it back, and takes a strike.
Hitting lefty-lefty is difficult. Bunting lefty-lefty is difficult as well. I thought maybe they just let Nathan go here, take his shots, maybe try to blow this game open a little bit. First get back, but play for the bigger inning.
Gets it down. It's a good one. Sandoval's throw is just in time to get him. But the sacrifice does advance the runners.
It is a very good one. Always tough as a left-handed batter because you literally have to stick your nose in there and really put it right out over the plate. The ball coming at your face for the most part, most of the way to the plate. Nathan sticks his nose in there and puts down a beauty. Should we add that to the phases of the game that we said he's been doing so well at over this last week?
So now top of the order, second and third, one out. Charles McAdoo, the batter. The infield is back. A ground ball beyond the mound to any one of the other infielders is going to bring in a run. Obviously McAdoo thinking about more than that. That one is called just low, and it's ball one. He lined out in the first. He worked a walk in the third. The 1-0. Ooh, inside at the belt, ball two. His 92 could look like more than that because of all those changeups you're seeing.
Yeah, and the changeups, he's not throwing many in the zone, so you really have to be disciplined to lay off those changeups that are off the plate away. That's what he's trying to do, is bait you and get you out there.
And a fly ball in the air to right field. Abreu setting up underneath it. The catch is made, and here comes Jimenez to score on the sac fly, and the Blue Jays are back within one.
Very nice situational hitting by Charles McAdoo. This is a changeup, and it is away, but he stays on it very well, much like the home run we referred to last night. Drives this deep enough. Unfortunately, Straw has to stick around that second base bag, respecting the arm of Abreu in right.
McAdoo with a couple of very nice games since coming back from Buffalo. Here's Brett Bateman, 1 for 2, had an RBI double his last time up. Back, and it's 0-2. A 300 hitter at AAA this year. Walks a lot, steals bases. You know the skill set. He's having a serious conversation with his bat right now.
He's got a little bit of a routine there.
Yeah,
you see it in the on-deck circle. We see it each bat, each pitch.
The middle, a base hit, and Straw's going to come in to score. Bateman does it again, and this game is tied.
Patrick Sandoval dropped a changeup on Brett Bateman. There's no way he's looking for that pitch. I think he's just reacting in a 2-strike count. That's not a pitch he throws to lefties much at all. But he is all over it, lining it into center. With Straw at second base, he's scoring easily. Good piece of hitting.
Tie ball game. Here's Guerrero. Guerrero lined out to deep center in the first, was called out on strikes in the third. What McAdoo and Bateman are doing tonight. McAdoo has walked. He's driven in a run on a sac fly. Bateman's got 2 hits and 2 RBIs.
How about them hitting 1-2 in the Toronto Blue Jays lineup? Good at bats.
The count in Guerrero's favor, 2-0. And it's down the right field line. It's a fair ball. Abreu giving chase, and Bateman is going to be held, and out at second is Guerrero. So that will bring the inning to an end. Unless the Blue Jays decide to challenge, they will not. It's going to be a base hit, and Guerrero out trying to stretch it into a double. Abreu giving chase, plays the carom off the wall. A very strong arm and a perfect throw. Pitching isn't the only thing that needs relief. When dry eyes are in play, look to Sustain Pro, the official dry eye symptom reliever of the Toronto Blue Jays. Tied at 3, top 6. John Schneider into the bullpen for Chase Lee.
Chase Lee has been riding the shuttle up and down from AAA Buffalo. He is back up, earned his first big league save last week in Houston. Pitched in 32 games last season for Detroit out of the bullpen. This is his 6th game with the Blue Jays this year.
Just recalled today with Jamison Tyone going on the IL. He also pitched a scoreless inning at Wrigley Field on Thursday, but he gives up a line drive base hit here to Jarren Duran to get things started in the 6th inning. And knowing Duran and his speed and seeing what the Red Sox have looked like on the bases tonight, he may not be sticking around very long. Duran's got 17 stolen bases on the season in 20 tries. The Red Sox already with a couple of steals tonight. The batter is Andrew Monasterio. Throw to first to drive him back. Both of those runs, by the way, in the bottom of the 5th, unearned runs because of the error by Caleb Durbin. The runs driven in by Charles McAdoo and Brett Bateman. The Blue Jays back into a tie, but the Red Sox with the leadoff man on here, top 6. Not going. And taken for a strike, 1-1.
A lot of sinkers and sweepers to right-handed batters from Chase Lee, and that sinker's just averaging around 90 miles per hour.
Ground ball up the middle. Clement, step on the bag, throw to first for 2.
And there is said sweeper. Gets him out front, rolls it over, and Ernie's got time ranging to his right, and he's even got time to take it himself at the second base bag before firing it over the ladder.
And leaping over Duran as he made the throw, so quickly 2 down, and now here's the number 9 hitter Nick Sogard, who has singled and walked. Each team with 3 runs on 6 hits tonight. That Durbin error, a big part of this ball game. That'll catch the corner, 2-1. Lee, an interesting story, went to the University of Alabama to pursue a degree in aerospace engineering. Wasn't on a baseball scholarship, attended a tryout as a freshman, was a shortstop in high school. Eventually in his 2nd year made it to the team as a pitcher. There's ball 4, but you know, this is not a guy, you can see, not a big guy, not a hard thrower. Like, he's had to work for everything that he's gotten, but he got better and better through his years at the University of Alabama, big time school in the SEC. Became the closer eventually, a 6th-round pick in 2021 by Texas. Traded to Detroit, as you mentioned, 32 appearances last year, and now in his 2nd big league season, getting some time here and there with the Blue Jays this season. You don't run into a lot of aerospace engineering majors these days.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know who you hang out with.
I don't either.
It is a great story.
Yeah.
Chase Lee has got that low arm angle. Reminds you a little bit of Tyler Rogers, not all the way down there, but that's why he's also durable. Can use him in many different roles. And we seem to have this topic pop up several times throughout the course of a season, but you need guys down there to give you innings.
Yep.
6
You need guys
months
with options to go up and down.
Yep, ride that shuttle.
Like you think about Tommy Nance, he was out of options. A guy who gave the Blue Jays some very good years, really, but they could not, if they ever got to a point where, say, he was last man on the staff and they needed another arm, if they were going to try to send Nance down, they'd have to get him through waivers. That wasn't going to happen. He would get plucked by somebody. Chase Lee, as a very bright guy, an aerospace engineer, I mean, he understands where he's at and what the rules of the game are, and that he is likely to be on the shuttle a lot this year. But you take your opportunities where you get them. 2-2 on Yoshida, and a bouncer up the middle. Jimenez has it. And a good inning by Lee. Got ground balls when he needed to get ground balls. Still tied at 3.
On Sportsnet 1.
There's 1 day left to be eligible for all prizes during the 50-50 jackpot from Blaze Care. Tomorrow night, you could win a trip to New York, groceries for a year, or one of every giveaway from the entire season. And then on Sunday, you could win the grand prize jackpot nearing $675,000 right now. Head to BlueJays.com/5050 to get tickets from participating provinces. And tomorrow night is one of the special nights on the calendar. It is the annual Jays Care broadcast auction with all kinds of great prizes that you can bid on. Ivanka Osmak will be down here handling the festivities, telling everybody about all of the great prizes that you can bid on, and it all goes to Jays Care. 3-3 tie, bottom 6, 2-0 on George Springer, who's 0 for 2. 3-0. First time this year in 6 starts where Sandoval has worked into the 6th inning. He's been efficient, as you can see, just 63 pitches. And a big hack on 3-0, fouled back by Springer.
That green light could not get any greener. And he got a fastball to hit. George came out of his shoes with a great swing, just missing it, fell on it back.
Ball 4 and a base runner to lead things off. Sign up to become a Rogers customer and watch for Canada's winning inning. When the Blue Jays get ahead, you could win exclusive 50th season prizes. Visit Rogers.com today. Well, here's a hot hitter right now, Alejandro Kirk. He has walked and singled tonight. He's hitting over 350 in his last 53 at bats. Ooh, and a good breaking ball. Curveball drops in for his strike. No activity in the Red Sox pen. The Blue Jays trying to take the lead here. Grounded up the middle and into center field. And Monasterio actually slowed the ball down a little bit, and that allows Springer easily to come around to third.
Off the bat, I thought it might be a double play ball, but Alejandro hit this ball pretty hard just past the diving Monasterio. He did, Dan. He got a piece of that and slowed it down. That's what allowed George to keep on trucking.
If he gets it, he might have had time to get back to his feet, and they might have still turned 2. It is 1st and 3rd, nobody out. And here's a guy who would really love to help his team right now, Ernie Clement, who has made a great defensive play, mind you, but he's 0 for 2 with a couple of double play grounders tonight. Infield creeping in halfway now for the Red Sox. And it's up and away, ball 1.
And you can't say to Ernie, stay disciplined. But Ernie, stay disciplined. Get a pitch you can handle, at least to get into the air to cash in 1.
to second. They'll get one, but not turn the double play. So enough speed to beat it out. Fielder's choice RBI. Springer scores. Blue Jays lead.
This ball was hit just perfectly. It was a slider that came in on Ernie, but he stayed inside that ball, didn't hit it real hard. Because of that, their only option was to go to second base with it. I don't think he could come home.
Do you think he tried? We don't talk about Ernie trying to stay inside the ball much. Think he tried to do it there?
It looked like he did. Whether that was an effort to maybe get the ball in the air or use the big part of the park.
He's at first dancing around as Jimenez shows bunt and takes ball one. Boy, Clement had some happy feet going there. Ernie not the biggest base stealer, 4 for 5, maybe just trying to be a bit of a distraction. Now 2-0. Strike 2-1. Jimenez again, a long look down to Carlos Fabulous. Durbin is backed up at third. Jimenez squared once but hasn't since, and the Red Sox don't think he's likely to try to bunt for a base hit. Now Durbin comes in several steps, and it's swung on and missed 2-2. So Durbin maybe almost baiting Jimenez there, trying to make him think he would stay back, but then crowding at the last moment. Not likely to do it now with a 2-strike count. The 2-2 down and away. It's full. Do you think they start the runner here? Do they, as Brendan Little has now gotten up in the Blue Jays pen, do they trust Jimenez's ability to put the ball in play and start Clement?
I think you just have to be so careful because of it. Left-handed pitcher on the mound. You can't gamble and go first move.
Not going. And it's a strikeout as Sandoval gets him 2 down.
Well, interesting play, Dan, on that ground ball that Ernie hit. Initially, I thought George Springer was taking off, but he read that ball off the bat, and I said he didn't hit it real hard. Right here, he's not going right away, but then he realized it looked like Ernie got jammed a little bit. The second baseman had to go a step or two to his left. That's when he took off because he knew he wouldn't have a shot at the plate. So that was a read by George Springer. I thought he was taking off initially. A very good read.
2 down, Miles Straw. Just off the outside corner, ball 1. Straw's 0 for 2 tonight. And a good breaking ball at the knees, 1-1. Ball 2 up and away. The Red Sox have their big hitters coming up in the 7th. Rafaela, Rutschman, Contreras. Abreu due up 4th. Chad Tracy there on the left of your screen, the interim manager for the Red Sox this year. Took over much earlier in the season when Alex Cora and a number of coaches were let go. And actually, his second game was here. And they were still
in transition,
like bringing coaches in from the airport and bringing them up from the minors.
Chad said yesterday when he got here for his first game here, he basically didn't have any prep. He was just getting sorted out and kind of just got in the dugout and tried to manage the game.
Foul back 2-2. In late June, they were 32-46. They had the worst record in the entire American League. And then they went on that incredible run, tempered a little bit by losing their last 3. But still, they are still 32-8 in their last 40 games.
And that was right after the Blue Jays visited Fenway Park in June.
2-2. Taken low, a full count on Straw. And now Clement's going to be on the move. Looks like Contreras is still going to hold him on at first. They're not expecting Straw to hit the ball down the right field line. There goes Clement, and it's lined up the middle, a base hit. Clement will stop at second. The inning continues.
Miles stays on this ball very well. Again, away. This time it's the slider. But you know what Sandoval is trying to do? He's going to be away for the most part. Doesn't try to pull this pitch. Stays right on it. It's what you have to do as a right-hand hitter facing lefties that are staying away for the most part.
And another meeting on the mound. Andrew Bailey, the pitching coach, is out again. There's nobody up in the bullpen. 81 pitches, 5 2/3. The Red Sox bullpen has been used a lot as well. They used 6 relievers on Sunday. They had a bullpen game on Sunday, so maybe not quite to the same extent as John Schneider is trying to work around some guys in the pen, but Chad Tracy's going through some of the same stuff.
Brian Bayo was a starter earlier in the year and had all kinds of struggles, went down to the minor leagues, came back, and now they're using him as a long reliever.
And he had a long relief outing on Sunday. He won't be in play tonight. Everybody else looks like they should be, but you never know how guys are feeling and who may be down.
Moran, the lefty we saw last night, was back-to-back, but other than him, bullpen management seems to be the biggest challenge for managers, doesn't it?
It's a science unto itself. Nathan Lucas, the batter, takes a strike. Lucas, a base hit and a run scored in the 3rd, and then a sacrifice in the 5th. A run in to give him the lead, looking for more. To the shortstop Monasterio, who throws Lucas out to end the inning. But the Blue Jays have the lead. Their first lead of the night. They're up 4-3 going to the 7th.
On Sportsnet 360.
Kick back this summer with the Sportsnet Plus City TV Plus bundle. Enjoy live sports moments and can't miss hits like the Real Housewives of Orange County and more, all in one subscription. Bundle today at sportsnetplus.ca. Tight ball game. Blue Jays now up 4-3 going to the top of the 7th inning. Chase Lee is back on the mound. And this is the heart of the Red Sox order. Lee worked the 6th, back out there to at least begin the 7th. Cedar Rafaela, Adley Rutschman, and Wilson Contreras coming up. This is popped up, and it looks like it's playable. It's in foul territory, and it belongs to McAdoo. Chase Lee, Joe, getting some big outs in some pretty high leverage spots here tonight.
Gets him just out front there, but I love Charles McAdoo taking charge right here, helping out his catcher. Listen to this. That is taking charge, making no mistakes. Alejandro Kirk is very grateful for the third baseman coming to help him out on that one. Good communication.
Here's Adley Rutschman. Rutschman has struck out, had an infield hit, and walked. So with some pitchers down tonight, and again, we don't know exactly who, but all you have to do is look at how much they've been used lately, and you know some guys aren't available. John Schneider at the moment trying to piece this inning together with Chase Lee and possibly Brendan Little. Right on the corner. Lee out in front of 1-2 on Rutschman.
Well, you would think maybe Little is for Wilyer Abreu if it gets to that point. I think with Rutschman, I mean, he's been good against lefties in his career too. This year, he's been doing more damage against righties. But then you start playing that game. Do you go by what he's doing this year? Do you look at his career numbers? And do you just want to turn him around in a ball game? But right now, they've got Lee facing them because everything's so critical in a one-run game here.
Up and away, it's 2-2. Up and away, a full count. Wilson Contreras waiting on deck. 3-2 pitch. Outside, ball 4, and the tying run is aboard with 1 out in the top of the 7th.
Trying to stay in that safe place away to make him use the big part of the ballpark, but just not able to catch that edge.
And not a guy who will chase a whole lot. Here's Wilson Contreras, 0 for 3. And he has popped it up. Clement and Jimenez both there. It'll be Jimenez to make the play. 2 down. And what's John Schneider going to do? Does he like what he is seeing enough from Chase Lee to give him a chance here against the left-hand hitting Wilyer Abreu? Looks like he will.
Yeah.
Spoke too soon. Schneid faked us out. He wants the lefty-lefty matchup. Pretty good job, John, done by Chase Lee. There was some traffic, but he got a big double play ball in the 6th. Retired a couple of very dangerous hitters here in the 7th, and it'll be Brendan Little on to try to protect this 1-run lead. You're watching Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. It's a warm summer night and a good ball game. The Blue Jays trying to make it 2 in a row over the Red Sox. They're up 4-3, and on his 30th birthday, Brendan Little is on the mound.
And I think this is the right call, Dan. We were talking about it before, whether John Schneider is going to come up from that dugout. You have to, I think, go to the lefty Little here against a hitter the caliber of Wilyer Abreu. I just didn't necessarily love what Chase Lee trying to pitch around Adley Rutschman there. You can't do that in this situation. You need to stuff this guy, and I think Brendan Little has the stuff despite the issues he's had with the free passes.
For what it's worth, Abreu's got very good numbers against lefties this year. Obviously John Schneider knows that, but still they prefer the matchup of the lefty against the lefty. Abreu will walk, a home run, and a strikeout tonight. Called strike 1-1. Abreu with a quick question for Nestor Ceja, the home plate umpire. Rutschman at first, a very short lead, 2 down. Fouled off, knocked his helmet off too on a very sharp knuckle curve, and it's 1-2.
That went from the ground right up, maybe under the bill of his helmet. Back of his head.
A little bit jarring, undoubtedly. He'll use his timeout to give himself a few extra seconds. Little ahead, 1-2. Down and away, it's even at 2-2. Branson Rutschman, and the 2-2 pitch. In the dirt, blocked by Kirk. It's full.
Heck of a job by Alejandro. This is one of those where you just try to get out there and play goalie. Pitch spiked way out in front of the plate. Alejandro just tries to get as big as possible and does the job off the chest protector.
So with 2 down and a full count, that means Rutschman's going to be on the move. Guerrero's not holding him now. He's playing behind him. And Little comes set. Big pitch here. Got him. A slider down and away to strike out a very dangerous hitter in Wilyer Abreu. One more look going to break. A big out for Little in the Blue Jays, who still lead 4-3. Holiday event at Rogers Center. It is never too early to plan ahead. From holiday parties to large-scale corporate events, guests can enjoy exclusive access to sought-after settings across the stadium, from the outfield district to premium clubs and the field itself. Visit BlueJays.com/private events to learn more. Interesting ball game here tonight. Back and forth they've gone. Brendan Little just got a big strikeout to end the top of the 7th. The Blue Jays will take the lead to the bottom half as Chad Tracy has dipped into his bullpen for the first time. A guy who can really bring it in Tyron Guerrero.
Tyron Guerrero has really found himself very late in his career. He's 35 years old. He's pitched for the Padres, a couple seasons out of the bullpen with the Marlins, but pretty high numbers ERA wise, but this year just over 2, and he has been excellent. That whip under 1. He's walked just 3 and struck out 33 in 30 innings of work, and he has a triple-digit sinking fastball with a slider, but he throws that sinker a ton.
Kind of amazing. Last few years he's pitched in Mexico, he's pitched in Japan, and then we've seen him a few times against the Blue Jays already this year, and it was like, how has this guy not been in the big leagues consistently over the last several years? But as you say, he has really found it this year. A guy who's had some pretty good at-bats tonight is Charles McAdoo, who was lined out, walked, and had a sacrifice fly. Top of the order, McAdoo, Bateman, and Guerrero. McAdoo and Bateman, between them, have driven in 3 of the 4 runs tonight. Challenge coming here from Rutschman.
The catcher is challenging the ball call.
And it's outside.
The pitch is the ball. The count is 2-1. Boston has 1 challenge remaining.
So now each team with 1 remaining challenge, and it's 2-1 on McAdoo. That's in there. 2-2. Easier to get to 99 down than 99 up.
Definitely. Not that it's definitely easy. But yes, the ball down, you can just drop your bat head, whereas up, you really have to be good flattening that path out of the top of the zone.
And again, same spot, strike 3 call. Let's go to Hazel.
David Popkins' initial observations of Brett Bateman. He told me good plate discipline, and he really likes the quality of his at-bats. What's been most impressive, he's got a slow heartbeat. He explained that Bateman plays like a guy with nothing to lose. He's calm and kind of embraces the moment. His father, guys, was a D3 coach, and that means he was a grinder, Popkins said, so he's not at all surprised. Guys?
Hazel, thank you. And that's been our first impression of him as well. The brief times we've had a chance to speak with him. Went to the University of Minnesota, a Golden Gopher, an 8th round pick of the Cubs in 2023, came over in the Kevin Gausman deal. Bounces it up the middle, and Sogard's going to make the play for out number 2.
No routine play with Brett Bateman at the plate. When he puts the ball in play, you have to respect his speed. Sogard did that to retire him right there, but this young man plays the game the right way.
And if you're a center fielder and Pete Crow Armstrong is the Cubs center fielder, you're blocked. Yep. So Great opportunity for him, obviously, in the trade. Braden Fisher's getting loose. 2 down. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the batter. 1 for 3 on the night. Singled his last time up. Was thrown out, trying to stretch it to a double. Just a perfect throw by Wilyer Abreu deep in the right, from deep in the right field corner. Well hit ball, right center field, but it's going to be playable. Rafael is there. And it's a 3-up, 3-down, bottom of the 7th. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update with Jamie and Madison.
All right, thank you so much, Dan. Home Hardware is proud to be the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Madison, 5 games into his career. What do you think of the number 2 hitter?
Well, we just heard Hazel talking about Brett Bateman and how he has a slow heartbeat when he's up at the plate. But what I've really appreciated is how fundamentally his his swing is. I feel like his hands stay inside the baseball extremely well. This time in the bottom of the 3rd inning, he gets a slider that he stays with long enough to be able to drive it out into the gap. Not to mention that was a 2-out hit. Fast forward into the bottom of the 5th inning, similar situation. 2 outs, and he's able to get a pitch, a changeup that he drives back up the middle to bring across another run. Again, the only reason that he's able to get to these pitches is because that barrel is staying back behind his hands to be able to drive it out to the outfield.
Tomorrow night, the annual Jays Care Foundation broadcast auction. We've got a ball game here. Back for the 8th after this.
Left, so come on down to the ballpark and cheer on the Blue Jays as they take on the Kansas City Royals in a 3-game series starting August 25th. Secure your seats today at bluejays.com/tickets. Blue Jays have played the Royals yet. Kansas City coming here late August. The Blue Jays will be there in September. Been a tough year for the Royals. You know, if the Blue Jays can hang around, hang in this 2-week stretch of Red Sox, Yankees, and Rays, their schedule the last month of the season is among, on paper, the easiest in the majors, but they've got to do well over the next couple of weeks. Braden Fisher, Joe, on in the 8th.
Braden Fisher is 4th in the American League in appearances. This is number 57 for him. Of course, Mason Fluharty leads the way. He's had a very good start to the month of August. The walks have been an issue for Braden, so let's see if he doesn't try to fill up the zone a little bit more here. Has not allowed a run in 7 scoreless innings this month, but 6 walks against just the 4 strikeouts.
Looking at a big spot here. 1-run lead in the 8th inning. Durbin 0 for 3. Swung on and missed. Fisher doesn't throw many fastballs, but he's got a pretty good one. It's kind of consistently 95, and he'll get some swing and miss with it. He'll also get some takes where they're not expecting the fastball.
You wonder how much of that is what he saw Cease do to Durbin earlier. You may mix it in, but as a relief pitcher, you're going with your bread and butter, and we know what that is for Fisher. It's to spin the baseball. Between the curveball and the slider, a lot of breaking pitches.
Kirk the appeal, no swing, it's full. Just for information's sake, Louis Varland has pitched 4 of the last 6 days. Tyler Rogers has pitched 2 in a row and 4 of the last 6 days. So the deployment may be a little bit different than it normally is. The 3-2. And it's popped up foul, but this one will get over the dugout and into the seats. One guy, though, who is available is Spencer Miles. He did not pitch last night. Had short outings on Saturday, Sunday. Not really getting after it yet, but obviously available here tonight. Those extra inning games they have piled up on the Blue Jays. 3-2 again. And another foul back. After Durbin, it's going to be Jarren Duran and Andrew Monasterio, the 6, 7, 8 hitters in the Boston lineup. Another 3-2. And another foul off. This is already an 8-pitch at bat. And number 9 is fouled off. It's been all fastball sliders so far, no curveballs. The slower breaking ball yet to Durbin. Fisher tends to use the curveball more to the lefties, slider more to the righties. Pitch number 10. And this one is popped up and playable for Jimenez. One down.
Discover the magic of BetMGM Casino. Check out a wide variety of table games with a live dealer, roulette, blackjack, and more. Download the BetMGM Ontario app. Please gamble responsibly.
One down, top 8 in front of a crowd of 42,419. Another sellout at Rogers Center. Seeing a good ball game. There's the curveball. 0-1 on Jarren Duran. Kirk, the appeal did not go.
Said earlier about Jarren Duran hitting that double last night off Louis Varland, the curveball. Very impressive because he does not handle breaking pitches very well. This makes this a very favorable matchup for Braden Fisher, a guy that spins the ball so much.
And if you are Fisher and that was a slider there, would you still be really set on mixing the two breaking balls, not just going curveball, curveball, curveball to Duran?
I don't think he has to against a Duran. I think you can just throw the one you're comfortable with and throw a good one. That's what Braden's very adamant about. When you throw the slider and it's a good one, there are no issues. But the issue here is the zone, and that's where we talked about the walks that he's been having trouble with.
And with Duran's speed, obviously a guy you want to keep off the bases. Outside, very close, but it missed, and it's ball 4. Blue Jays do have the one challenge, but Kirk opting not to use it here. Did it flip the corner?
Thought that might have been a challenge for Alejandro. He chose not to.
Yeah, it would have been.
And it would have been a 3-2 count.
I mean, we're talking about fractions of an inch, right, when we're looking at these pitches.
And he missed one earlier, but that's so far. This is the critical part of the game right here.
Duran the runner, Monasterio the hitter. And a strike, 0-1. Duran being held on by Guerrero as Monasterio steps in. McAdoo guarding the line to a certain extent at third. Jimenez plugging up the hole on the left side.
Fisher does a good job holding runners.
Fly ball left field. And the catch made by Straw. 2 down.
Braden has said he learned early in the minor league, in his minor league career with the Dodgers, that they were very adamant about that. So it's something that he's been taken very seriously. And we have seen him on many occasions, and I'm sure we'll see it here with the Duran at second base with 2 outs, holding the ball, really changing up the times and varying the times to the plate, making it difficult for that runner to time you.
Nick Sogard the batter, McAdoo in at third. Duran not going. And it's a called strike, and now Sogard wants to challenge.
The batter is challenging the strike call.
And it's a successful one. It's overturned.
Boston has 1 challenge remaining.
The Red Sox still with 1. And it's 1-0 on Sogard. You would think if Duran's going to go, he's going to go soon.
Should, if you're thinking about it. See that hold, that clock was just coming from 10. He's just holding it, freezing him.
Little slide step as well, and he's in with a strike. You cannot do it better than Braden Fisher just did it.
That was textbook.
Yeah.
And if you're a base runner at first base trying to steal that base, you're just antsy over there waiting to go, and he just kept holding and kept holding.
Down and in, ball 2. Even with the job he is doing, I'm kind of amazed Duran hasn't tried yet.
Yeah, I think he's still got to take that shot.
Yeah.
And when Kirk gets a chance, he can be pretty good at throwing those runners. If the numbers aren't very good this year, but I don't think he's had a lot of chances either. And I mean that about the pitcher on the mound not helping him out.
Not going. And a swing and a miss, 2-2. Tying run at first, 2 down here in the top of the 8th inning. Fisher sets. And now steps off. First disengagement. He's running. Check swing, the throw down, the tag. He got him. Kirk throws out Duran. Will the Red Sox challenge? They will not. Chad Tracy says no. How about the job? The throw by Alejandro Kirk. Nailing the speedy Jarren Duran out at second base to retire the Red Sox in the top of the 8th.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want.
Game coming your way tomorrow. It'll be the first time Jose Soriano pitches at Rogers Center as a Blue Jay. Third game of 4 between these division rivals, and it all gets started with Blue Jay Central at 6:30 Eastern time. And again, don't forget, tomorrow night is also the annual broadcast auction with all proceeds supporting Jay's Care. Another close game. The Blue Jays are getting great work out of their bullpen tonight. And they're up 4-3 going to the bottom of the 8th inning. Seth Martinez just had his contract selected from the minors a couple of days ago, and he's on to face George Springer.
Martinez spent parts of 4 seasons with the Astros, 1 with the Marlins. His ERA is right at 4.0 over 117 games out of big league bullpens. Side armor.
Foul ball. Boy, wouldn't an insurance run or 2 be so nice for the Blue Jays here? They're used to playing in games like this. This is all they've done over the last week or so. Close games, extra inning games. They were down 1-0. They were down 3-1. Tied it in the 5th, took the lead in the 6th. Big cut, and it's 1-2.
Some good work all around, but I go back to that at-bat. Brendan Little against Wilyer Abreu to end that 7th inning. A very dangerous hitter at the plate. John Schneider opted to go to the lefty-lefty matchup, and Brendan Little came through.
Up the middle, another hit as Springer leads it off here in the 8th. That is the 9th hit of the night now for the Blue Jays. And it'll bring up a guy who has done well at the plate and also did very well throwing out Jarren Duran.
Just give him a chance. This is 50% at least of Braden Fisher right here. Alejandro Kirk does the rest, but as a catcher, he's saying just give me a chance. And the way Braden Fisher handled all of that gave the catcher a chance, and Alejandro Kirk threw a strike down to second base.
Here's Kirk at the plate taking a strike. He has walked and had a couple of singles, and this is how teams will generally play him. But there's a huge hole on the right side. Springer's being held on. Second baseman Sogard way up the middle. And how many times have we seen? Tried to check it and did not. It's 0-2. But how many times have we seen Kirk, even in 2-strike counts, find a way to hit the ball to the right side.
Yeah, I would even say more so in 2 strike counts. This is perfect for Alejandro. He might be thinking of letting the ball travel, letting it get deep, and really just trying to pull the hands in to keep it in the zone, get it in the zone early and stay through it. Therefore, that wide open right side is very conducive to that swing path.
A good hitter, obviously, but also a very smart hitter, don't you think?
He knows what he's doing. And what we're starting to see now is a healthier, I think, Alejandro Kirk. He's clearly recovered from that thumb injury. Starting to look much more like himself at the plate.
Reaches for it, softly hit up the middle, and they'll just get one as Springer is forced at second.
Hit a grand slam with your next project and head to your local Home Hardware. With over 1,000 locations across Canada, Home Hardware is locally owned, genuinely Canadian.
Blue Jays up a run in the bottom of the 8th, and John Schneider is going to bring in Josh Smith to run for Alejandro Kirk. So even though they are up, not down, he's going to try to do what he can to add on to the 9th inning. He's got Brandon Valenzuela, obviously, to come in and catch.
This is a luxury when you have a backup catcher as good as Valenzuela. This tells you a lot about what the manager feels about Valenzuela behind the plate with a 1-run lead.
The batter, Ernie Clement. Looks like Spencer Miles is going to get the 9th inning. Clement swings through it, and it's 0-2, a slow sweeper.
A slow sweeper, and it produced a slow swing. Sometimes as a hitter you get fooled and you slow up like the pitch.
Smith the lead. Just off the corner. Smith probably out there to try to take an extra base rather than steal a base, score from first on a double. He's out there pretty good right now. Backs off, and Clement pops it up. Backpedaling, Monasterio, 2 down. Now maybe with 2 outs, do things change a little bit with Jimenez at the plate? Do they get a little more aggressive with Smith?
You have to feel pretty good about it. You got a pretty good one behind the plate, and Adley Rutschman. There's a guy that throws very, very well. Speaking of giving catchers a chance, so if Martinez can give him a chance at all, he'll deliver.
Smith a dozen steals with the Rangers last year. Jimenez 1 for 3 tonight. But we're all just, getting to know Josh Smith, right? And I assume this is his typical MO at first, but he is bouncing around out there. He certainly makes you notice him.
It looks like he's trying to get a good jump, doesn't it?
By the way, for the Red Sox in the 9th inning, it'll be the number 9 hitter, Nick Sogard, assuming he still comes up, and then top of the order, Masataka Yoshida and Seidon Rafaela. Spencer Miles up in the pen. That hit him, and that hurt. He's taken off the shin guard. He's on his way down to first and jogging. But boy, it sounded like it hurt. That get him in the knee?
It sounded like the knee, and you could almost hear as if it maybe hit the catcher's shin guard. That's the sound, and that had to hurt. It was a changeup, but that still is going to hurt. Back knee. Jeez.
So Jimenez at first, Smith up to second, and the batter is Miles Straw. And here's another interesting decision. Assuming Jesus Sanchez is okay, John Schneider saying, yeah, Sanchez might give me a better chance for a hit, but he does not want that defense on the field in the ninth inning. He wants Straw out there for defense.
No chance. That's why Miles Straw's in this lineup.
I think
catcher is
Martinez.
challenging the ball call.
Oh, was it the catcher? Rutschman did. I thought Martinez might have done it. Called a ball and overturned.
The pitch is a strike. The count is 0-2. Boston has one challenge remaining.
By the slimmest of margins. It's a fair ball. Smith is in to score. Jimenez into third. How about Miles Straw? A big RBI double to make it a 2-run game.
Miles Straw coming up big with the bat. We know what he does on defense, but you keep him in the lineup for several reasons. It's a backup breaking pitch from Martinez, and Miles is all over it. Carlos Fabulous trying to get a good look at what that ball's doing in the corner, knowing what to do with the next runner, so he puts the stop sign up.
With a blind corner down there.
We've seen him do that at Fenway Park, where he coached for so many years.
As long as you don't run into anybody who's out there and doing their thing, fielder or runner. Boy, that's a big run. Nathan Lucas can really break it open here. Outside corner, 0-2. Lucas 1 for 2 with a sacrifice tonight. Up and away. Joe, everybody in the lineup tonight has either reached base or driven in a run. Maybe nobody's individual night jumps out at you, although Bateman's got 2 hits, 2 RBIs. But 1 through 9, everybody in this lineup has done something tonight.
Let's call that a good team night, right? And this is what they need. They're going to need to do this to keep staying in this thing.
Swung on and missed. The Blue Jays, though, do add a run. Miles Straw with a 2-out RBI double, and another Miles. Spencer Miles on his way in to work the ninth.
Hey, Ken and Ivanka, we have Sportsnet Central presented by KFC coming up after the game. During the last commercial break, Ivanka was dancing because she looked at the wild card standings and then she saw the Miles Straw double. She's starting to groove. You're believing in this wild card thing.
Well, also when you look at who's playing who tonight, 4 of the teams they're chasing are playing each other. So that window into the wild card widens.
And it is our job to inform everybody about what's going on with those games. That's coming up after the game. We will do such or we will do so.
Such and so.
Ken, Ivanka, thank you. Looking forward to that. The Blue Jays trying to make it 2 in a row over the Red Sox, up 5-3. And here is Spencer Miles, who has worked in a variety of roles, but one thing he has not done so far in his big league career, Joe, is pick up a save.
Not even in his minor league career. Looked back in college, he had a couple of saves. So this is new for the rookie sensation, Spencer Miles, in a Blue Jays uniform. He's been outstanding out of the Blue Jays bullpen.
Valenzuela in to catch. The number 9 hitter for the Red Sox lineup, Nick Sogard, leads it off. McAdoo way in at third. And it's up high, ball 1. Sogard's been on base all 3 times tonight, a single and a couple of walks. Even at 1-1. We have seen Miles in leverage, obviously, in a lot of different kinds of situations, and there has certainly not been a moment where it appeared to be too big for him. In there, 1-2. 98 on that two-seamer.
And he's not trying to do too much with it. Just fill the zone. That's why that extra run plays so big. Fill the zone with that thing. Make the hitter beat you.
2-2. Dylan Cease started, went 5 innings, allowed 3 runs on 5 hits. Chase Lee got 5 outs. Brendan Little a big strikeout of Wilyer Abreu. Braden Fisher a scoreless 8th, and now Spencer Miles in the 9th. And a ground ball to second. Waiting for it, Clement. 1 down.
A sinker up in the zone. It sounds a little bit silly, but it's more just the pitch. When it does go up, it's the action of the pitch. Hitters try to swing up over top, so accustomed to seeing 4-seamers up there, and they clip the bottom of the baseball.
Top of the order, Masataka Yoshida 0 for 4. And a strike with a curveball, 0-1.
Or clip the top of the baseball into the ground.
A little bit high. And it's hit pretty well to the opposite field. Straw's going back, and he can't make the catch. It's over him and off the wall, and Yoshida is into second base.
It looked like Miles was there at the wall. He had to leave his feet, but we've seen him do it a million times.
Just may not have known exactly where he was. It looks like he thought he was closer to the wall than he was when he jumped.
Sensing the fence, but yeah, he peeked at that fence way ahead of time.
A hard play, but a play we have seen him make. Here's Rafaela representing the tying run. Grounded to short. Jimenez has it. Bounces it across in time. Big time play by Andres Jimenez.
Big time play by a big time defender. Andres Jimenez knew exactly what he had to do. Once he caught this baseball, he had to get up and get rid of it with Rafaela running. Uses the turf, makes a perfect one-hop throw to Vladdy.
A big second out. And here's Adley Rutschman in his first game with the Red Sox. 1 for 2 with a couple of walks. Fouled back, and now 0-2. Miles sets. Down and in, ball 1. $42,000 plus on their feet. And the 1-2. A curveball down. It's 2-2. Does he go back to the bread and butter, the sinker?
It's a pitch that he can keep on the ground for the most part. That's the beauty of that pitch in a situation like this with a dangerous hitter.
The 2-2. And a broken bat ground ball to third. McAdoo on to first, and the Blue Jays win it. They find a way again. A great job by the bullpen. They just kept chipping away offensively. Spencer Miles with his first big league save, and the Blue Jays make it 2 in a row.
Hang on to that baseball, young man. That is a special one. He made a big-time pitch going back to his bread and butter, the sinker, and he gets a really good hitter to pound it into the turf. Defense all around, some good pitching after Dylan Cease had some struggles but kept his team in it.
They may be exhausted. They may be taxed in the bullpen. They may be a little bit undermanned, but boy, are they playing some scrappy baseball right now as they beat the Red Sox again. And for now, we'll send you to Sportsnet Central, presented by KFC once again. Ken and Ivanka.